Hello guys, good morning or good evening. It depends on when you are watching this video. Hello, so we are here tonight and to continue with our series of the 7 mistakes that most forex traders make and fail, and how you can avoid those mistakes. And this is the third video, so we'll be talking about the third mistake. Before anything, I'll read the disclaimer for you. That's what we'll be doing in every single video on Amount Forest Training, whether YouTube channel or website. You'll have the disclaimer everywhere. So, reading to you, trading in general and Forex specifically is a high risk activity. It is not suited for everybody. Not everybody can do it. You may lose more than what you invested and you can get in debt. The information, examples, and representations in and under any form in this presentation and on amount forex training in general are for educational purpose only. You alone are and will be responsible whatsoever of your losses, and we will not be held liable in any way. In no way would we be responsible or liable of your losses or of the consequences of your decisions. So if you agree with that, we are already at the third video, the third mistake, and I know you are eager to learn from me. You have been watching the first video, the second, and you know that there's good information here. So if this video is the first one you are watching on this channel, please go watch the first video and the second video. Send your comments, send your questions to the email address questions at amountforextraining.com, and I'll be more than happy to reply to your questions. I'll be making a video specifically to reply to your questions, and that's it. Like the video, share with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos. So mistake number 3 is that they don't do or they do poor money management. Forex trading is all about money management. You have to take care of your portfolio. You have to take care of your money, the money that you invested. And your portfolio is not just what you invested. If what you invested has made some profits to you, that profit plus the original capital becomes your new portfolio that you have to take care of. It's not just about the initial capital that you put in. So if you have a capital of 5,000 and at a time you win 2,000 and the total becomes 7,000, the 7,000 is now your portfolio or your capital. It's a kind of a new capital that you have to take care of. You won't think that, okay, I have 5,000, the 2,000 is a profit, so I can lose them. That's not the mindset to have. So forex trading is all about portfolio management, and in this video we won't waste time on the thousands of theories, of school theories. No, that will not, it will take hours and hours to go over all those theories, and some of them are even complex and boring. We don't need that here right now. So what we just need to demonstrate, what I need to show you here is how you can take care of your profit, and I'll show you the math behind the portfolio management, how it is more difficult to progress than to fail, how it is more difficult to win than to trade, and how you can do to avoid all that. So if you don't take care of your capital, you don't make profit. No capital, no profit. So you have to take care of the tree that gives the fruit, and the tree that gives the fruit is your capital, and the fruit is your profit. So as I was saying earlier, it is easier to lose than to win, and you can take my word on that. It is way easier to lose in Forex than to win. And it is not only in Forex, in everything, in almost everything in life, that rule applies. Let's take relations. It is hard to build a relation with your wife, with your family members, with your friends, but a relation that you took months or years to build can fall for just 2 or 3 mistakes. And sometimes it is even for slight mistakes that a relation falls down or falls apart. Same thing for infrastructures. When you take an example of a building, a house, or any kind of building, and how, just imagine how long it will take. Even if you have the money, you have all the logistics that you need to build a house, it may take some time and some, like, it is in a way difficult to build a complete house. But if you call for demolition and you want that house destroyed, it can take just a few hours to destroy completely the house. And same thing for the health. Just look at how hard it is to work on yourself and keep yourself healthy or keep yourself fit. But when you start, for example, a few mistakes can make you gain weight or become unhealthy, and to restore your health to the original status, or it would be it would be really hard. So life is full of examples of things showing us that it is easier to lose than to win. And Forex or trading in general is no different. And that rule, which is that it is easier to lose than to win, applies to Forex trading in two different ways. The first way it applies to Forex is that it takes you less work to fail when you are already winning. Let's take an example of a trader that has a capital, invested capital or initial capital of 5,000. Okay? And if he makes 50% of profit on that 5,000 capital, he will be making 2,500 as profit. And his new capital will become 5,000 plus the 2,500, and that would be 7,500. But this is what happens. Now that he has won and his capital has become 7,500, if after that he tries to lose 50%, actually he will lose 7,500 divided by 2. As you know, 50% of something is just half of the thing. So you'll be losing half of 7,500, and the loss would be 3,750, and his remaining capital would be 3,750, which is way less than the original 5,000. So, what did I say? I said that it takes less work to fail when you are already winning. So, you normally, if you try to make 50% of profit, normally you just lose 50% after that and you are okay. But that's not how natural math works in life. After you made 50% and you have a new capital, which is your original capital plus that profit. If you now lose 50% of that new capital, you are already under order. So you'll have less money in your account than your initial capital. Actually, you just need to lose 35% after a 50% win to find yourself below your initial capital. Sorry for that typo, initial capital. Because when you have 7,500 after your 50% win and you lose 35%, that means 7,500 times 35% and equals to 2,625. So when your loss is 2,625, your remaining capital after that loss is 7,500 minus 2,625, and your remaining capital after that would be 4,875. You see? So you are already below your initial 5,000. You see? You win 50% and you lose 35%, but you are already below your initial capital. So what did I say? I said that the rule applies to forex trading in two ways, and I just show you the first way, which is that it takes less work to fail when you are already winning. But let's see when you are losing. When you are losing, the way that rule applies to forex when you are already losing is that it is worse actually. You need way more efforts to get back up. So if you start losing, it is even harder to come back to your original capital than what I just showed you for somebody who started winning. And the fact is, when we take the same example of 5,000 capital, sorry, this should be not a point but a comma. So if you lose 50% of your capital, a capital of 5,000, which is 5,000 divided by 2, 2,500, you will have 2,500 left in your account. Okay? When you are at this point of 2,500 in your account, if you need to get your initial capital back, it will take you 2 times more efforts because you will now need to make 100% of that new capital. And if you think it is so easy to make 100% of your capital, you are joking. Actually, if it was that easy to make 100% of one's capital, how would the guy here in the example be losing half his capital? And now that he has lost half his capital, he will need to make 100% of the new capital. So at this very moment, he thinks, oh my God, I just lost 50% of my capital. Now I need it back. At the very moment he's taking the decision to get his capital back, he will have to win 100% of what he has remaining, what he has left. The shocking fact is that if after he takes the decision to get his capital back, if he does, he makes efforts and efforts to win 50% of that new capital, which is 2,500, he will be making in profit 1,250. And with that profit, he will still be far from his original capital because he will be having 2,500 plus the 1,250 profits, and his total, the total in his account will be 3,750. He's still far from the original 5,000. So he will still be far away from recovering from the loss. That's how it works. That's the basic maths behind forex trading or behind trading in general. And that math is making 95% of traders fail every day in the market. Just because they don't understand the math behind trading, they lose money. And when they start losing, it gets harder and harder to recover. Actually, they may recover some money, and when they get here, series of losers can start and get them even below this 2,500. And the more they get down, the worse the situation gets. So, to sum up, here are the two sides of the coin. First, it is very easy to lose everything you win if you don't keep careful. You have to be careful even when you are winning because it's very easy to lose everything that you already won, and you can lose more than what you won. And the second side of the coin is that if you have started losing, you may never recover from your loss because that needs even more efforts from you. And there's another reality in trading that makes things even worse, and that is margin. Because in forex trading, in trading in general, and in forex, we use margin. Margin is what helps most traders to behave as if they have maybe 50 times the real money in their account. You have a guy that has only 5,000 in his account, but he may behave as if he had 250,000. So actually, margin is related to leverage. Okay? It's related to leverage. And what I was explaining is because of leverage, somebody who has just 5,000 can behave as if he had 250,000. But there's a but. There's a margin required whenever you open a position. So even if you have, for example, if we stay in the example, even if you have 5,000 in your account, when you launch a position, when you hit the trigger for a position, your required margin on that position may be half your money, for example, which means maybe you can do at most two of that kind of position. So let's see how margin makes things worse. It makes things worse, especially when you start losing. And let's see how. In fact, your lot size needs to remain unchanged. It needs to remain the same to make your recovery easier after a series of losses. But what happened? Unfortunately, the less money or equity you have, the less margin you get. So if you have started losing money, margin will work against you and you cannot continue trading the same lot size. All what you really need is to keep the same lot size so that your recovery is easy. But if you have to decrease the lot size you were trading before your losses, you will make profits that won't help easily fill the gap that was created by the losses. So you will soon be obliged to decrease your lot size. And decreasing your lot size won't make it easy for you. On the contrary, it will make it harder and more stressful to recover after your loss. Let's see that in an example. If you used to trade zero point 0.1 lot size initially, after you lose 50% of your initial capital, you may not be able to trade more than zero point zero 0.05 as a direct consequence of the required margin. So by decreasing your lot size, even if you were to make some profit, those profits those profits won't be like large enough to cover the losses that you already made. But imagine that after a series of losses that take your your account down 50%, you continue trading the same lot size and by chance you get some profits. You will get back easily. But if you have to decrease your lot size before you make those profits, they will be they will not be large profits enough to recover fast. So that makes it more and more difficult than what we already explained because of margin. The second way margin makes things worse is that it is trickier when you are winning. Actually, it's a big trap for people winning. I don't wish that you start losing before you start winning. No. But when you start winning and you are not careful, you don't understand the math behind trading, it is easy to get emotional and think that you are the best trader ever. You may think that it will be only winners that you will have. But trading is a combination of losers and winners. And in most cases, the losers, I mean the position that on which you will lose, may even be more than the positions on which you will be making money or you'll be winning. But when you start a series of winners of winning positions, you may think that it will continue giving you only winners. And if you don't pay attention, you may be tempted to increase your lot size immediately. And that's where the trap is actually. So if you start, for example, you win 50% of your capital and your initial lot size was zero point 0.1, you may be tempted to jump to zero point 0.15, which is half time more. Okay. And when you start this, if for any reason It is at the very moment you increase your lot size that you start having losers or losing positions. Actually, you will fall back easier because you will need less positions than you already win. You will need less than that to lose all your money and even lose more than the profits and lose some of your capital. Because if, for example, you are here and you win 10 positions with this, and you get here and you start losing with this, you may lose less positions and yet already lose all your profit. I will do more demonstration of this when I start talking about risk. It's soon in another video. Okay, not in this video. So if we stay in this example, I see that it's a big trap. It's a big trap when you start winning. And remember this. What did we say? We said that if you make 50%, do you remember when we were here? We said that if you make 50% of profit on your initial capital, which makes it 2,500, and your new capital will be 7,500. Do you remember that? Okay, let's see. So when you start increasing your lot size after a series of winners, you are prone to a quicker fall than when you rather continue trading the same lot size after your winners. And if you remember, we also said that if after you get your capital from 5,000 to 7,500, you ever lose 50%, you will actually lose half of the 7,500 and you will be losing 3,750, and you will soon get to 3,750, which is less than your initial capital. You remember when we said that? And so when you start increasing your lot size after a series of winners, you are prone to a quicker fall. So what we just explained here, that happens even easier. It is way easier for that to happen than when you even keep the same lot size. So what we demonstrate here, that it is easy to lose when you already started winning. That is even easier when you change your lot size, you increase your lot size after your winners. So that's it about mistake number 3 and how forex traders not doing good money management failing. And how can you avoid that? You should always think capital preservation. That's very important. You have to think capital preservation because it's your capital that will be, it's a kind of tree that will bear fruit at the right season. Okay? So if you don't take care of the tree, it won't give you any fruit back. So think capital preservation. And how can you work on capital preservation? You have to always keep your lot size relatively small. Keep your lot size relatively small naturally according to your capital. Why? Because that will allow you to recover easily from losses. by keeping the same lot sizes even after a series of losses. And if you are lucky enough to win a couple position, you can get back. Or it can help you avoid falling after you win. Because if you start winning and you immediately increase the lot size, and by uh, I will say, I don't know if I can say it by chance, but if you are unlucky enough to have those positions lose just after you increase your lot size, you will fall easily. So keeping your lot size relatively small will help you avoid that. So sometimes when you make profits, you'll kind of lock them in your account and it will be hard for the market to take them back. But if you don't do that, you will be giving back your profits to the market yourself. Another way to avoid mistake three is, if possible, try to slightly increase your lot size only after you have already doubled your capital. So don't rush in increasing your lot size after just a series of winners, because the losers will be like, as we say in French, they will be at the appointment. It's a kind of it's a kind of contract. Like it's a kind of contract. Don't ever fool yourself in thinking that you will only have winners. The losers are part of the game and they will be present. So they will come anyway. Another way to avoid mistake number three is to not follow the foolish rule, yet very famous, that wants you to take 1% risk on every trade. And it means that every single one of your positions will be risking 1% of your capital. That is it makes no sense actually, but it is everywhere online, on brokers' websites, on gurus' websites. It's everywhere as advice, but it's so false. Actually, nothing is further from the truth than that. If you are like used to that and you cannot help not using it, what I will advise you is to try to divide your capital by three, and then you can apply the rule to the third of your capital. So if you have a capital of 10,000, you divide it by 3, you'll apply that foolish rule, that nonsense rule, to the third of your capital. Or if you have 5,000, you'll apply 1% risk per trade to this portion of your capital. So that if you have half of this capital lost, you'll still have enough margin to cover yourself and keep having positions of the same lot size until you recover the loss that you already have on this part of your capital. Another way to avoid that mistake, which consists of not doing good money management, is to use diversification. So, as the saying goes in the trading world, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Try to diversify your your portfolio, and instead of putting, for example, one full position in Euro USD, for example, you can put half in Euro USD and half in Aussie dollar, Australian Australian dollar and US dollar, for example. Or put third one third of a lot size in three different uh, uh, pairs, for example. And another way, probably the last one, is to do your best to prioritize long-term strategies over short-term ones. Actually, most traders out there are even using very short-term strategies. And that's why most of them are failing. That's another reason most of them are failing. They don't even know. Most of them don't even know they are failing because they are using very short-term. But please prioritize long-term strategies over short-term ones because there's less noise in the market on the longer term. So that's it, guys, for what I have to share with you. If you like it, please give thumbs up, subscribe if you are not yet a member, you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. You will see our logo somewhere in this area, and if you click on it, you will be able to subscribe. If this is the first video you are watching, you will have here our playlist in which you will find the former videos and you can watch mistake number 1 and mistake 2 and keep up with us. And please don't forget to comment on the video. You can also send your questions to questions at amountforesttraining.com, and I'll be more than happy to reply. Actually, I'll make at the end of each series of videos, I'll make a final video which would be question and answers, in which I'll try to reply to most of your questions, really most of your questions. So please subscribe to the channel and share with your friends and family. And thank you for watching me. See you in the next video, in which we'll be talking about the fourth mistake that most forex traders make and fail. And as you already know, we'll let you know how you can avoid those mistakes. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Thank you.